Hello everybody, I'm Yuji.
And I'm Rogan.
And welcome to hell.
We have cookies.
We're going to be reading chapters 9 and 10 of Hogwarts School of Bitchcraft and Misery.
Dude, that was perfect. That was perfect.
I thank one of the subscribers for leaving that in the comments. I forgot your name. I apologize, but thank you. It was beautiful. Anyways, let's get started with this bullshit, shall we? Author's note. Hello, friends. I apologize for how long it took to get this chapter out, but I have good news. Starting tonight, I will be taking a beginning writer's course at the local community college. Why didn't you do that before writing this? Though all the hate from evolutionists, fuck you, feminists, and romanists? There has been some legitimate criticism on my writing skills. My mother did her best, and she certainly did teach me a lot, but grammar was not her area of expertise. It's taken some convincing the hubby. Wasn't sure if I'd have time to get everything done if I started taking this class, but I've written up a schedule, and I think we can make it work. Oh boy. 1 week into the school year, Harry was gradually starting to get used to the everyday routines at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. There was breakfast in the Great Hall every morning, and then there was a prayer session led by the Reverend. The Slytherins would often have their own prayer sessions. Don't put that in quotations, you fucking cunt. People make me angry. In their own way, and the Hufflepuffs and Ravenclaws prayed with the Gryffindors, but the Hufflepuffs complained about the Reverend quoting the Bible, and the Ravenclaws complained that the Reverend didn't seem to really hate sinners. He just hated sin. Well, isn't that really what you're supposed to do? Like, isn't that you hate the sin, but don't hate the sinner? After the prayer session, the little ones all went to their classes with their regular math and English classes, and of course, although they were of a higher caliber than one would find in a public school, and then there were Bible studies and Christian history. After that was lunch in the Great Hall. After lunch were even more classes about American history and constitutional law and missionary training. After these classes was dinner in the Great Hall, after which the students had free time. It was just such a dinner that Harry was eating now. He was sitting with his new friends, Hermione, Ronald, and Dean Thomas. This food is certainly delicious, Harry observed gratefully, and he was savoring a bite of perfectly roasted chicken. It really is, Dean Thomas concurred intelligently. You really could just get rid of intelligently right there and just say concurred. Honestly, he was just quite respectably today. He was wearing a button-up shirt and clean blue jeans, and his hair was neatly combed. Hermione nodded in agreement, and the yellow bow she had tied her hair back with bounced up and down. Ronald grinned widely, but remained silent as he shoved another handful of deep-fried Brussels sprouts into his little mouth. Ronald ate breakfast and lunch with his family, but he was eating more and more dinners with these Gryffindor friends of his. It never ceased to amaze him just how nice they were to him, and even though he wore a different hat, a little unconditional friendship can really go a long way in a person's heart. It was then that a bunch of beautiful people with wings wearing glowing white robes swooped in through the Great Hall's huge windows. You got rid of the owls? You got rid of the owls! No! Hedwig doesn't exist! Yellow halos hovered above their heads, and they wore brown leather satchels around their shoulders. They gracefully reached into their satchels and gloriously flung envelopes down to the students below. The mail's here, D. Thomas observed accurately. You could just say observed. You don't need observed accurately. Come on. And he shielded his eyes with his hands as he gazed up in wonder. Harry propped his chin up on his hand and dreamily watched these magnificent postmen distribute their wares. He did so love to look at angels. He was surprised when a letter fluttered down to him, and it landed lightly on the table in front of him. He had never gotten a letter before. He smiled innocently at the angel who had delivered it, and the angel waved back. "Would you look at that?" D. Thomas uttered fluently. "You got a letter, Harry. You could just say uttered." With excited hands, Harry broke the seal and took out the parchment that was inside the envelope. He laid it out on the table and saw the familiar slanting, tidy handwriting. "Dear Harry, how are you enjoying your first week at Hogwarts? I hope you're enjoying it a lot. How about you come over for tea this evening after dinner, and you could tell me all about it. Hagrid." Harry smiled as he folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. "Good old Hagrid. What does it say, Harry?" Hermione questioned shyly as she played with one of her smooth, lovely curls. "Hagrid wants me to come over for tea," Harry reported excitedly. "Would you all like to join me?" "I'd love to," Hermione replied sweetly. "That sounds like fun," D. Thomas responded eloquently. "Can I come?" Ronald asked tentatively after he swallowed his Brussels sprouts. Harry, Hermione, and Dean Thomas exchanged a knowing look. And then Harry answered kindly, "Of course you can." Ronald smiled gratefully before going back to his Brussels sprouts. When dinner finished, Harry got to his feet and then he declared boldly, "Let's go." Author's note. Blessings. Continuing onward to chapter 10. Yay. Author's note. Hello, friends. Sorry this chapter took so long to post, but the instructor of my new writing class was kind enough to proofread it. I didn't take all of his suggestions, but I liked most of them, and I hope the wait was worth it. Oh, another thing, a few good-intended but misguided readers have expressed concern about my asking my husband's permission to take a class. Friends, it is not that long ago that I would have thought the same thing. Culture told me that wifely submission was demeaning, and I believed it. All I will say is this, Reed created to be his helpmate by Debbie Pearl, life and marriage changer. Hagrid lived in a lovely little house on the edge of the Hogwarts campus. The little ones arrived right on time, and the delicious smell of tea and cookies was wafting outside. Smiling in anticipation, they knocked on the door. I have the hiccups. Oh boy. Hagrid opened the door and beamed down at them. "Welcome, Harry. I'm so glad you could come, and you brought friends." "Indeed I did," Harry said, and gestured to the upstanding young fellow to his left. "This is Dean Thomas, a Gryffindor hat." "Pleased to meet you," Dean Thomas said intelligently. Hagrid smiled at the little one, impressed. "This is Hermione, another Gryffindor hat," Harry said, motioning towards the girl to his right. Hermione smiled shyly and waved. Charmed, Hagrid waved back. "And this is Ronald." "Why didn't you say his hat?" Ronald looked up sheepishly from where he stood behind the trio. He could sense that Hagrid was truly a man of the Lord, in a way that no one in his family, or perhaps the entire Slytherin hat, was. To be in the presence of such piety was humbling for a little one such as this. Hagrid noticed the green and black hat, but didn't comment. Instead, with true mercy and compassion, he opened the door wide to all of them. "Glad to meet you all. Please, come in." The four little ones filed in. The inside of Hagrid's house was tastefully decorated. The curtains were plaid, the walls were wood, and the bear rug covered the floor in front of the fireplace. Mounted above the mantelpiece, in a place of pride for all to see, was a moose's head. The oaken table in the center of the kitchen was set for 5, and the kettle on the stove was just starting to sing. "This is a nice place you have," Harry commented. "It really is," D. Thomas said intelligently. "I hate that so much." Hagrid grinned with pride. "Thank you. I live by John 15:19, of course, but I do try to keep it tidy." Harry, Dean Thomas, and Hermione nodded knowingly. In a few minutes, they were all seated at the table while Hagrid passed out his famous chocolate chip cookies. They munched on the delicious morsels as Hagrid poured the tea. "How's school going?" Hagrid asked. "Quite well," Harry replied. Just then, the timer buzzed. "More cookies!" the little ones cried in delight as Hagrid got up to get them. While Hagrid was getting the cookies, Harry's eye fell on a newspaper Hagrid had left open. The headline on the front page read, "Voldemort spotted at Hogwarts?" "Would you look at that?" Thomas muttered observantly, picking up the paper and scanning it. As he read, he whispered the article's terrible words. "Voldemort was spotted by several students yesterday at Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles. This is the man who is trying to put a bill through Congress to stop Christians from practicing their beliefs. If passed, homeschooling will be illegal. Christians will be put in jail, maybe even killed, unless they say the Bible says what Voldemort wants it to say. Saying Merry Christmas or hanging up the 10 Commandments will put you in a re-education program." When D. Thomas was finished, Hermione burst into tears. Harry gave her hair an innocent, friendly pat. "How could anyone be so angry at God?" Hermione sobbed. "I don't know," Harry declared tentatively. "He is a horrible person." D. Thomas nodded sagely and muttered to himself to discuss. "First they tried to change the Pledge of Allegiance, and now they don't want us to be Christians. Next they'll be killing us all. It is a bad time to be a true Christian in America." Ron sat guiltily in silence as he watched his new friends fearing for the future. He was beginning to wonder just what sort of hat it was that he had chosen. Oh no. John 15:19. "If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you."
The world hateth me? Yes, well, I hateth it too, so it's fine.
Anyways, guys, that was chapters 9 and 10 of Hogwarts School Prayer and Miracles. So we've got 4 more chapters left. Hope you're all excited for the conclusion of the story.
You shouldn't be. Don't be excited.
But anyways, I'm Yuji.
And I'm Rogue.
And we are Constructive Criticism.
Bye.